Good morning, Year 5. It's Thursday. We are almost at the end of the week, so huge well done for sticking with it this week and getting through your learning. If you would like to be in the shout outs tomorrow, your last chance is to send your work in today because I'll be making the video for tomorrow. So please do send your work in if you've been working hard, and I will give you a shout out in tomorrow's lesson. So let's go. What do we need for today? You need something to write with, something to write on. You may want to find today's independent task on the website, and there's also a help sheet on the website today to help you with your independent task, so you might want to get that ready. If you have some measuring scales in your house, the kind that you use for cooking or the kind that you use to weigh your body, you might want to have them with you just to have a look at. You don't need them for the lesson, but it might just be helpful so that you can see what we're talking about. And as always, please send your completed work to the Year 5 email address, particularly if you would like a shout out tomorrow. And if you have any questions or comments, you can send them to my email address here, or you can write them on the YouTube video, which lots of you have been doing. Now, I know lots of you are missing Mr. Oland's a lot. I've seen that in the comments for sure. So don't worry, you've just got today and tomorrow with me, and then after half term, Mr. Oland will be back and he'll be doing all his amazing videos and you'll all be really happy. So you've got that to look forward to. Right, where are we in our learning? So, you know we did lots of different conversions with metric measures in the last couple of weeks. Then yesterday we introduced imperial measures for the first time, and we did some conversion between metric and imperial measures of length. Today we're going to do the exact same thing, converting metric and imperial measures, but this time with mass. And then tomorrow, same thing again, but with capacity. So you should, by the end of the week, be a pro at converting between metric and imperial because you're going to do it 3 different times for 3 different types of measurement. Here is your date and LI, so short date here. LI, just like we just talked about, using imperial units of mass to convert with metric units of mass. And the bonus challenge, write the date in Roman numerals. So pause, press play when you've got that written down, and we will carry on. How are you going to be successful today? I think you can already tick some of these off before we begin. So I would hope by now you know what the metric measurement system is, I think so, and that you might know the metric units of measurement for mass because you learnt about those previously, so you should be quite confident with those. Hopefully from yesterday's lesson you have a pretty good idea of what the imperial measurement system is, and you might know some of the imperial units of measurement for mass because we talked about some of them yesterday. You should know from yesterday's lesson, if not before, what approximate means and the symbol for that. Now, this one is definitely for today's lesson. Hopefully by the end of today's lesson, you can convert or make approximate equivalences between metric and imperial units of mass. So if we can do all of those things by the end of this lesson, we will have met the learning intention. So, a quick memory check. I had this picture, this slide, on yesterday's video, but I have taken away some of the information. So I want you to think, pause the video and see if you can fill in the blanks. Let's see. So inches are one of the imperial units of length. Pounds are an imperial unit of weight or mass. And pints are an imperial unit of capacity. How did you do? Did you get all the missing ones? I hope so. Another bit of recall. So if you remember, it's important that we're continuously recalling information to strengthen the information in our long-term memory. So these are 3 key points from yesterday's lesson that hopefully you can recall. Can you remember approximately how many centimetres there are in 1 inch? Can you remember how many inches there are in 1 centimetre? And can you remember how to write the symbol for approximately equal to? So pause the video here, see if you can write down those 3 answers. Here we go. There are approximately 2.5 centimetres in an inch. So as a number sentence, you would have 1 inch equals, or is approximately equal to 2.5 centimetres. 1 centimetre is approximately equal to 0.4 inches, and here is that symbol that we learned about yesterday. Hopefully you got 3 out of 3 there. If you didn't, you might want to go back and recap yesterday's video at some point. But if you did okay, then you're ready to carry on. So before we go into today's lesson, I just wanted to put this here. This is also in the help sheet on the website, but this is just to show you what we're going to be going through today, because we're doing 3 different conversions of mass for metric and imperial measures. So here are the metric measures for mass, grams and kilograms, and the imperial ones, ounces and pounds. And we're going to convert in 3 different ways. We're going to look at converting ounces to grams, pounds to grams, and kilograms to pounds. So if we look at that up here, ounces to grams, so we'll convert between those, pounds to grams, those 2, and kilograms to pounds. So 3 different conversions. So if you get stuck at any point and you're thinking, I can't remember if it's pounds or grams or this or that, this is something to come back to show you the different conversions that we're doing. So let's get started. The imperial system of measurement uses ounces and pounds to measure mass. Ounces are the smaller unit of mass. 1 slice of bread has a mass of about 1 ounce. Ounces are often used in recipes to measure the amount of ingredients. Pounds are the larger unit of mass. Football has a mass of about 1 pound. There are 16 ounces in 1 pound, so it's a bit like 16 slices of bread weigh the same as 1 football. We might use pounds to measure the weight of our bodies, the mass of our bodies, or a larger amount of ingredients. So you might hear like a pound of butter, for example. Now, just like we have grams and kilograms, ounces and pounds are similar, so that's a good way to try and remember it. Can you think of anything else we use ounces and pounds to measure? So you might have heard them used before. So have a think, can you think of any other times we use those? Here we have the approximate conversion of ounces and grams. So 1 ounce is around 28 grams. Now sometimes you might see this conversion written slightly differently. You might see 1 ounce is approximately equal to 30 grams. Now people do that because 30 is a slightly easier number to work with because it's a multiple of 10. So don't be confused if you see a slightly different conversion, it's just because it's a bit easier to use. So the actual approximation is 28 grams, but sometimes people round it up to 30 to make it easier. Because if we were doing 3 lots of 30, it would be easier than 3 lots of 28. So, if you remember in yesterday's lesson, we talked about using what we know to work out what we don't know. And there's lots of different ways we can do that, and some of them are written down here. So if we know that 1 ounce is roughly equal to 28 grams, how can we use that to answer these conversions? So for example, if 1 ounce is 28 grams, how can I work out 2 ounces? Do you know? I think I can double it because I know that double 1 is 2. So therefore, to find out the grams, I can double that as well. And double 28 is 56. Easy peasy. Let's move on to 5 ounces. So how could I find out 5 ounces? Let's look at these strategies down here. I've got a few. So I could do 28 times 5, couldn't I? I could do a little written short multiplication of 28 times 5. I could do 2 lots of 2 ounces and add on 1 ounce. So 2 lots of 2 plus 1, 2 lots of 56 plus 28. Or, this is an interesting one, I could times by 10 and half, because 1 times 10 is 10, and half of that is 5, and that's what I'm looking for. And timesing by 10 is quite easy. So 1 ounce times 10, 28 grams times 10 would be 280, and half is 140. Did you use a different method? I could do 5 lots of 28 in addition, couldn't I? 28 plus 28 plus 28, etc. So there's lots of different ways I can do it. What about for 6 ounces? Well, I know that 5 plus 1 makes 6, so I could do 140 plus 28, and I get 168. So it doesn't really matter which method you use, the important thing is using the information you have to work out the information that you don't have. And these are just some of the ways you can do that. Let's think about that in terms of half ounces. So exactly the same thing. Here I have some strategy. So if I've got 1 ounce is 28 grams, how can I find out half an ounce? What do you think? I think I could halve it or divide it by 2. I know that half is half of 1, so half of 28 will give me 14. What about 2.5 ounces? Well, I could double 1 ounce to find the 2 part, and then I've already worked out half an ounce here. So 2 lots of 28 is 56, plus 14 for the half gives me 70 grams. So I've used the information I have to work out the information I didn't have. Let's apply this now to a practical real life situation. So sometimes you open up a recipe and it's written in ounces because that's what we used to use. We used to use the Imperial system, but now we use grams, we use the metric system. So you would have to convert between them to find out how much you need. So Lucy's grandma has given her an old book of cake recipes, but they are written in Imperial. But Lucy's scales are in metric. She wants to convert the recipe so that she can make them. So here she has a recipe for shortbread, which is a kind of biscuits. And these recipes, these ingredients are written in ounces, but we need to convert them to grams. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I want you to have a go at the second two on your own. So just like before, I know that 1 ounce is roughly equal to 28 grams. So if I want to find out 8 ounces, I need to do 8 lots of 28 grams, 8 times 28. Now, I can't do that in my head, so I would do a short multiplication sum of 28 times 8, and that gives me 224 grams. Okay, see if you can have a go at working out 6 ounces, 6 lots of 28, and 10 ounces, 10 lots of 28. Have a go and press play when you want to see the answers. So how did you do? So 6 times 28 gives us 168 grams of sugar, and an easy one, 10 times 28 gives us 280 grams of flour. Now we've looked at ounces and grams, but if you remember we also said we would look at pounds and kilograms as well. Can you think of any objects that we normally measure in pounds? So I asked you about that at the beginning, and kilograms. Can you think of anything? Where have you heard those before? Let's have a look. So when you buy your fruit and vegetables in the shop, we often use grams and kilograms. So sometimes you might see, especially if you go to a fruit and vegetable shop, they have scales there and you put the fruit in and you pay per gram or per kilogram. When you weigh your body, when you find out your body weight, some people use kilograms and some people use pounds. It just depends on the scales. If you've got scales at home, you might want to look at what your scales are measured in. Some scales will have both. And babies, if you've ever had a new baby brother or sister or cousin, when their baby's born, everyone asks, oh, how much did the baby weigh? And we say their weight in pounds. So you might say the baby was born and he weighs 7.7 pounds. Right, we've converted between ounces and grams. Now we're going to look at converting between pounds and grams. So 1 pound is roughly 450 grams. So it's quite a lot bigger than an ounce. Can you remember how many grams an ounce was? Should we go back? 28 grams. So 1 ounce is 28 grams. 1 pound is 450 grams. So just like before, let's use what we know to find out what we don't know. So if we know that 1 pound is 450 grams, can you work out these missing numbers? If you want to, you can pause the video here and see if you can fill those in by yourself. If not, you can listen along with me and we'll do it together. So if I know that 1 pound is 450 grams, I can double it to find 2 pounds, and that gives me 900 grams. I know that double 45 is 90, so I know that double 450 is 900. To find out 5 pounds, I've got a few different methods I could use. If you remember before, we did one where we times by 10 and halved, or we did 2 lots of 2 plus 1, or we did 5 lots of 450. Whichever way you want to do it, we get 2,250 grams. To go from 5 pounds to 10 pounds, we can double. Double 5 is 10, double 2,250 is 4,500. And to find £15, we can add together the conversion for £10 and the conversion for £5, because 10 plus 5 makes 15. So 4,500 plus 2,250 makes 6,750. Now, an extra challenge for you to go back to what you did last week. You can also convert these to kilograms. Can you remember how we convert between kilograms and grams? What do we need to divide by? There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so we divide by 1,000. So we have 0.45, 0.9, 2.25, 4.5 and 6.75. Okay, so our final conversion for today's lesson is kilograms and pounds. And you can see there that 1 kilogram is roughly equal to 2.2 pounds. Let's see if we can have a go. Lucy's baby sister had a mass of 6 kilograms when she was 3 months old. Lucy's grandma wanted to know what this was in pounds. Let's do the same method as before. Use what we know to work out what we don't know. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. How can we work out 2 kilograms? We can double it. Double 1 is 2, double 2.2 is 4.4. To find out 5 lots, we could add 5 lots of 2.2. We could do 2.2 times 5. We could do 4.4 plus 4.4 plus 2.2. Whichever method you choose gives us 11 pounds. And then to find out 10 kilograms, that's easy because we've got 5. Double 5 is 10. Double 11 is 22. So if you remember the baby, how much was the baby? The baby was 6 kilograms. So we haven't got 6 in our table, but I know that 5 plus 1 makes 6. So I can add the conversion for 5 kilograms. And 1 kilogram, 11 plus 2.2 is 13.2. So the baby was 13.2 pounds. Let's try the other way. How could you work out what 6.6 pounds would be in kilograms? Well, we can see how many 2.2s fit into 6.6. So for example, 2.2, 4.4, 6.6. 3 lots of 2.2, so 3 kilograms equals 6.6 pounds. Now, we've looked at all these conversions separately. We're going to do a problem to see if we can apply them together. A kitten has a mass of 20 ounces. Its mother has a mass of 2 kilograms. How much heavier is the mother than her kitten? Give your answer in grams. So we've got the kitten's weight in ounces and the mother's in kilograms, and we want the answer in grams. So we've got a few conversions to do here. So first of all, I think we need to find out the weight of the mass of the kitten. So if 1 ounce is 28 grams, we know that from here, we need to times it by 20 because we haven't got 1 ounce, we've got 20 ounces. So 20 times 28 gives us 560 grams. So that's how much the kitten weighs in grams. Now we know the mother weighs 2 kilograms, but really we need it in grams to help us to work out the difference. And I know I've got that automaticity, 2 kilograms is 2,000 grams. So now I've got them both in grams. The mother weighs 2,000 grams, the kitten weighs 560 grams, so I can subtract them to find the difference because it says how much heavier. So we need to take away the kitten's weight from the mother's weight, and that gives us the difference. So the mother is 1,440 grams heavier. Now it's asking for the answer in grams, so we don't need to convert it to kilograms. We can leave it like that. I want to see if you can have a go at this one on your own. It says, when Aaron was born, his mass was 6 pounds. He gained 2.5 kilograms in 3 months. What is his mass now? Give your answer in kilograms. So before you pause, think about what you have to do first. So you need to convert the pounds to grams. So here's our calculation here. Convert the pounds to grams. And then convert your answer to kilograms and work out the difference. Have a go. How did you do? So first of all, we need to find out Aaron's weight in grams. So we know that 1 pound is 450 grams, but we want 6 pounds, so we need to do 6 lots of 450, which gives us 2,700 grams. Now his gaining of weight was in kilograms, so we need to change this to kilograms. So 2,700 grams is 2.7 kilograms. Now we can do our sum of adding them together. He was initially 2.7 kilograms. He's gained, which means added more, 2.5 kilograms. So altogether now he weighs 5.2 kilograms. Hopefully you got on okay with that one. So it's nearly time to do your independent work. What you might find helpful before you start is filling in these tables using what you know to find out what you don't know. Now I've put 30 here because it's a bit easier, but if you want to challenge yourself, you can keep it as 28 grams. Remember we said 1 ounce is approximately 28 grams, but 30 is a bit easier to work with. So pick the one you're comfortable with. So if you have these tables filled in, it will make it easier for you when you come across problems to solve. So if you when you answer a question anytime, you might want to draw yourself this little table so you've got all the measurements you need. So I'd recommend doing that before you start answering your questions, but you don't have to, it's up to you. So superstars, your task looks a little bit like this. It has the conversions on there as a reminder to help you, and you can use the help sheet. It's very similar to what we've been doing in the practice questions, and there's a few extra problems thrown in there to help you. Challenge yourself. So if you're a superstar, pause the video now, get on with your task, and see you in a minute for the answers. Blue zone, you're also going to get on with your task now. So this is what it looks like. Lots of problems in there for you to solve. Good luck, and come back for the answers when you're ready. So superstars, the first part of your answers, pause the video, mark your work and see how you did. The second part of the superstar answers, let me just move my face over here so it's not in the way. There you go. So have a look at those. I've drawn the little table here to help you. That's what I find easier to answer the questions. Blue zone, the first 5 questions here, so pause the video, mark your work. The second part of your answers there, pause the video if you need to. Now, a couple of the problems I thought I'd go through the answers with you. So the first question was about bananas from the shop and which shop is better value. So shop A is selling 1.9 kilograms of bananas for £2.20. Shop B is selling 4 pounds of bananas for £2.50. And it's asking us which shop is better value for money. Now we know that shop A's bananas are cheaper. We know £2.20 is less than £2.50. But we don't know which shop you get more bananas at, so we don't know which one's better value. So we need to convert, don't we? So to convert shop B to grams or kilograms, we need to do 4 lots of 450 grams, or 454 more precisely, and that gives us 1.816 kilograms, so slightly less bananas than shop A, but for more money. So shop A is definitely better value for money because you get more bananas and it's cheaper. So shop A is better value for money, and you've proven it with your calculations. For this part of the task, you needed to convert all of the suitcases to the same measurement, to grams and kilograms, so that you could compare them and see whose belongs to who. So have a look at that there, check your answers. Final couple of answers there, the calculations there if you wanted to check them. Right, hopefully you did really well and you've marked your work and you're really proud of how you got on today. Remember to send your work into the Year 5 email address, particularly if you would like a shout out tomorrow. If you have any questions, drop me an email or a comment, and I will see you tomorrow for the final lesson of the week. Have a good rest of your day.